Hello, I'm here with Madi Balman today, and she's from May Creative. She's a really great graphic designer. She's really talented. Today we're going to be going over 3 different tips to improve the quality of your websites and your online presence. So do you want to get started with tip number 1?
Yeah. So one of the biggest things with your website is you need to make sure that it's consistent across the board. Every single page has to have the same color scheme, same fonts, same icons. Everything that's going to make your website look cohesive is going to help you in the end.
Definitely. Okay, and with that, we'll move on to tip number 2.
Tip number 2 for me is font choices need to be readable, and you cannot use more than 3. This is for 1 for your subhead, 1 for your header, and 1 for your body copy. You can use 1 for accents, but I don't think you should do more than that. You don't want to make yourself falling apart.
Okay, and we'll move right on to number 3.
So number 3 is going to be your visual aesthetic is everything. If you look outdated, you are outdated. If you look falling apart, you are falling apart. And if you look confusing, you absolutely are confusing. You have to make sure that your user thinks that everything needs to be perfect.
Okay, thanks for the tips, Maddie. We really appreciate that. And I just wanted to ask you a few questions about your graphic design agency, May Creative. So when did you start it, and what was the inspiration for that?
Oh, wow. I started May Creative whenever I was a junior in college. So in 2018, we had an advertising class where we had to brand ourselves. And I didn't want to stick my name right on it. So I came up with a name that is very historical to a lot of things and very personal to me. And then that's how it was formed. And I've been part-time with May Creative since 2018, but I went full-time in the last year. It's been a lot of fun.
Awesome. And so what got you into graphic design? Where did the passion start, and how did that turn out?
I mean, I actually was looking last week at some sketchbooks that I had in middle school of logos of people's names. I used to draw them all pretty and stuff. So I was always the art kid. I always walked around in the hallways. You always saw me with art under my arm, and when someone would step on it in the hallway or something, I'd be so sad. But yeah, I mean, it's like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, I've always been the art kid, so finding something that was a career that I could actually monetize in the art field, because it's really hard to be an artist and make a career out of it.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Graphic design fell in place with that. So.
Okay, and so you're doing logos, you're doing brand consistency, icons, anything like that?
Yeah, so I mostly specialize in logos. I help creatives pivot their brands and develop these dynamic brands so that they have what they need to get started and they have what they need to reach their target audience in a better way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And one more question. So how is the progression of your freelancing gig turned into agency gig?
Yeah.
How did that progression look like, and what are your thoughts on it?
Well, it's really hard because, I went to design school. You don't necessarily need to be in college to be able to be a freelancer or anything, but one thing that they really strive to tell us is you should be a freelancer. And being a freelancer offered me the flexible hours, scheduling when I want. I can take a 2-hour nap in the middle of the day if I wanted to, but it's also really hard because you have to be your own salesperson. You wear all of the hats.
Definitely.
Accounting, marketing,
Yep.
all the work, all the labor and stuff. So because of that, I found myself in a situation where I was doing way too much and I was spreading myself way too thin as a solo entrepreneur. So I recently got my LLC this year, and I hired a virtual assistant and a design intern. And I think just as a whole, stepping back from doing all of the work all the time and going into a more managerial kind of thing, that has helped me a ton with not only my mental, but also the amount of energy that I have. Because in college, I used to stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning to get stuff done. But now I don't have that energy, so it's how can you move away from that? So being an agency definitely has helped me with that as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on today with me, Maddie. And if you want to follow Maddie on Instagram, it's maycreative.graphics. That's MAE creative.graphics.
Thanks so much.